guys, it's Mrs. Brunel. The recording started faster than I thought, and I was going to do it over, but you know what? You'll just enjoy laughing at me. So have fun laughing at me. This is chapter 38 with Mandy, and Mandy is gonna try to go down for dinner and in the main room with everybody. So we'll see how it goes for today. And she met Jonathan, but I don't know if she likes him or not yet. As it turned out, the evening was a smashing success. Mandy hadn't realized how thrilling it would be to see the downstairs of the big house. Oh, because she hasn't seen anything yet because she got carried upstairs to the bedroom and they haven't let her out of the bedroom yet. There was so much to do and talk about that she hadn't had a chance to feel shy. Anne insisted she take a nap in the late afternoon. She bathed and tidied herself afterwards, and when Bill came to take her downstairs, she was feeling refreshed and secretly rather excited. He made a tremendous fuss, taking her arm and leading her down the big staircase with so much ceremony that Mandy felt as though she were being escorted to a very special party. As she descended the stairway, she looked about her in awe. The main hall was tremendous, 3 flights of wide, shallow stairs on 3 sides of a stairwell. The banister beneath her hand was solid and smooth, the wood polished to a high gloss. On the 4th side of the stairwell, a tremendous tapestry was hanging. Portraits lined the other walls, each one separately lit from above and glowing in the evening dusk. A thick carpet lay beneath Mandy's slippered feet. At the bottom of the stairs, Anne and Samson were waiting for her. She smiled nervously and clung to Bill's hand. She was trembling a little, though whether from excitement or the fact that it was her first time downstairs, she couldn't tell. So her legs might just be weak, so she's kind of shaking a little bit, and she doesn't know if she's shaking because she's excited or because her body's a little weak. Samson pushed open 2 huge doors, and the small party moved into the lounge. It was a beautiful room, long and narrow. A big fire was burning in the grate. There were comfortable furnishings with deep, soft cushions and fresh flowers in vases around the room. Jonathan sprang up out of a chair as they entered. "Well, John, here's a young lady," Bill said. "We can go in for dinner now. Are you hungry, Amanda?" Mandy smiled at Bill's correct use of her name. "Maybe just a tiny bit," she said. "Well, I'm starving." Jonathan led the way to another series of double doors and opened them wide. They opened onto a small dining room. There was a table set for 4 people. Dishes were steaming over hot plates on a long sideboard. Beyond the table were more double doors and a smaller door set to the left wall. Jonathan explained, "That door leads to the hall again, Mandy, and look here." He pushed open the second set of double doors and stood back. Mandy gasped. She was looking into a long, vast room, obviously a larger, formal dining room. Marble pillars at either end rose to the exquisite plaster ceiling above. A huge table in the center ran almost to the far wall. And it's a refractory table, which means that the table is like a reflection is in it almost. And in the room, it had the same beautiful windows as the lounge. "You know your way around already." Anne spoke to Jonathan as they seated themselves for dinner. "I'm not surprised," Bill interrupted. "I haven't seen him all day. Have you been exploring?" Jonathan grinned. "Yeah, I found a secret passageway too." So Jonathan hasn't been in this house before either, because remember, Anne and Bill had just moved there. So Jonathan is exploring the really big house. So he doesn't know his way around. So he was doing that all day, and he found a secret passageway. "Where?" "Between the 2nd and 3rd floors." "Oh, that one," Bill smiled. The boy's face registered a surprise. "You mean there's another one?" But I'm not going to tell you where," Bill said. "Oh, Dad, where?" "Wait and see." The boy squirmed and howled in protest as his father teased him. Anne laughed and Mandy joined in. She couldn't help it. Bill looked wickedly at them, his eyes gleaming with merriment. "I'll tell you tomorrow, John. Then you can show Mandy." "Oh, please tell us now," Mandy spoke up. She too was anxious to know where a secret passageway might be. "In the back of the cupboard in our bedroom, there's a door that gives access to a passageway. It leads to another cupboard in the big guest room. Long ago, the lord of the manor would visit his lady without having anyone know about it. Clever, wasn't it?" "Bill, I don't think even you know where all the nooks and crannies are in this house. Anne smiled at him. And he said, I don't. So they were in like the bedroom. Think of like your closet. So in the closet, it was called a cupboard, but it was really like a place where they kept their clothes. So they, in the back of the closet, there was a little passageway that went into the next room where you could get in through the closet. So people could go back and forth through the closets and then no one would know that they were sneaking through the rooms. Secret passageways. Dinner progressed. It was a joyous affair. Mandy found that she had 100 questions to ask. She completely forgot her shyness and found herself laughing and giggling and chatting with great zest. Anne looked lovingly at the group around the table. It's really nice being together like this, she said. Here's a toast to Mandy. Bill suddenly lifted his glass. Jonathan and Anne paused to do the same. We're glad that you're better and delighted to have you with us this evening. Oh, thank you. Mandy's face was rosy with happiness. After dinner, Anne led the way through the main lounge to the library. Here, Mandy, you might want to see another secret of the house. Look at this. She pressed a button in the molding on the wall, and the entire panel slid back to reveal a small organ nestled in an alcove. It was the same wood as the library paneling, but painted with gold-leafed embellishments. 2 pretty candle brackets were attached to the music stand. A small bench covered in soft, rose-colored silk straddled the pedals on the floor. So, if this is actually like a sliding wall that opens up, and inside of it is an organ, which is kind of like a fancy piano. And Mandy looks at it and she says, how absolutely beautiful. And Bill says this was put in the house by one of our eccentric ancestors. Anne smiled and said, bless the old gentleman. Where are the pipes? Up there and there. Anne pointed to the wall high above the organ. A lot of them are behind the paneling, but see, just by the ceiling you can see the tops of them. Play it, Mother, Jonathan begged. Oh, please, Mandy couldn't wait to hear it. Well, some of the stops are missing, but it does still function. We'll have it restored properly one day. Anne slid onto the stool and pulled at the knobs and touched some buttons. She let her hands run over the keys. Warm golden sounds poured forth with the wonderful breathless quality that's so characteristic of a pipe organ. So with an organ, the music comes through these pipes. The sound comes through these pipes that are in it. And it's different than a piano that way, too. Here, John, you know this one. Anne began to sing and play an old English melody. Jonathan and Bill joined in, their voices blending with hers. Mandy listened with delight. It was a lusty country song, and it ended with them all collapsing in laughter. Jonathan tried to reach a high note, and his voice cracked dismally, quite ruining the melodic effect. Do you know any songs, Mandy? Anne asked. Only hymns, mostly. Like what? Oh, gosh, I can't remember any now. Suddenly she was shy. Let's sing some carols, Jonathan suggested. That's right, it's nearly Christmas. Bill agreed. Carols couldn't be more appropriate. Anne played In the Bleak Midwinter and We Three Kings. Everyone sang loudly, and in spite of her shyness, Mandy found herself joining in. The acoustics carried her sweet soprano voice and enhanced it. The others fell silent to listen to her. As she sang, Mandy thought that she had never been so happy in her life. And with the thought came a sadness, too. She knew she would have to return to the orphanage soon, and that this happiness would end. Her voice faded as the song finished. Anne noticed the little girl's sad expression. That's enough for tonight, she said. This poor thing will collapse if we play it too much. She touched a button and the organ rolled back into the alcove. The panel slid into place again, completely concealing it from view. This procedure was enough to distract Mandy from her own thoughts, and within seconds she had brightened. I think it's time for one young lady to get back into bed. Bill swept Mandy up in his arms. Are you tired, Mandy? No, she giggled as he held her. I'll tell you what, said Anne. You go and get into bed, Mandy, and I'll bring you up some hot tea with lemon and honey. Would you like that? Lovely, thank you. Can I have some, Mother? Jonathan wanted to know. Yes, you great lump. You may have some, too. And so it was. Mandy climbed into her warm, comfortable bed. Bill and Anne sat by as she and Jonathan drank the steamy liquid from big china mugs. Later, when they had all gone and she was left alone in the darkness, she relived every moment of the wonderful evening. It had been better than any other party she could ever possibly imagine. She would remember it all her life. She purposely shut out all thoughts of the orphanage and her imminent return. And here's our little bunny. Our bunny's kind of hopping like he's dancing there today. So for today, I want you to write about the party and what your favorite part of the party was. They didn't really talk about the food that they ate at the party, but they talked about, it wasn't really a party, it was really just dinner, but the organ and them singing the Christmas carols, and then her seeing the different hidden secret rooms in the house and finding out about that, and just being able to be out of the room. What do you think was probably Mandy's favorite part of the night? Or you can tell what your favorite part of the night is. And then I'll see you tomorrow for chapter 39. Bye, guys.